Hi, this is Mr. Cordes, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over and review the Author Research Project. We have done multiple projects, poetry, grammar. We are moving now into an author research project because we are having multiple pieces of world literature that we get to study, and you get the opportunity to select the novel that you want. It's not that one novel is better than the other. You may be drawn to one based upon your interest, but the idea of this assignment is to kind of gather information about our author, do some components of research at the same time, all while reading a piece of literature. So it's multi-layered. When we read The Death of Ivan Ilyich way back when, we looked at like a chapter at a time, looked for analytical things, and then we kind of put it together for a bigger picture. Here, when we do the author research project, we are going to focus in on different components, what's going on for the author, what's going on for the time period, what's going on in the culture or the environment, and kind of begin to piece things together for a holistic perspective of what's going on. Holistic simply means well-rounded. When we looked at The Death of Ivan Ilyich, we were going into the text for like 4 specific things. Now we are looking at how does the author's life play into this story? What was going on in the world during this time? We had small pieces of this when we did the poetry project because you looked at the author's history, the poet's history, the poet's life. Now we're looking at the author. So you have the assignment in front of you. All of the things are in the handout that is attached below. Like I mentioned before, it's not that one thing is or one novel is better than the other. Each story is pretty captivating. Each story is, I don't want to use the word gruesome. Intense may be a good story because there's huge tragedy. There's huge shifts in a person's life. There's huge obstacles to overcome. And so for that, we look at these 3. We're going to look at these 3 novels. You are selecting one of them. So if I go down here and I click on the handout, it's going to bring me over here to the document that you have in front of you. We are looking at Achebe's Things Fall Apart, which is an African text. We are looking at Night by Elie Wiesel, which deals with the Jewish culture and the Holocaust, and just the tragedy of that story. And then you have The Joy Luck Club, which is talking about a Chinese American immigrant family and the different generations and how different generations perceive things now that they're in a new place. There's lots of these novels. All 3 are fantastic and all 3 are good. You, as it states here, are going to select one of the following novels. And there's lots of different activities. So just like when we did the poetry project and you would turn one thing in at a time, we're doing the same thing here. You're doing one assignment. You're going to focus in on that over 2 or 3 or 4 days. Then we'll move on to the next, all while reading the novel. So if you sit and you have the novel in front of you, this is not one of these novels. This is just my novel. If you sit and you're reading through the story, you may read 2, 3, 4 chapters, gather some information, and then move on as you see fit. So it says these various assignments and reading selections of the book, students will comprehend, analyze, and evaluate the author and the novel. So we're looking at both. Significant inferences will be found through historical and cultural research and analysis, as well as the story's narrative. So when you read through the story, you're going to find, wow, what they talk about here in Africa and the colonialization of Africa and how things are, horrible pun, falling apart for this tribe, for this culture. You begin to notice that as you do your research about the author Achebe. When you look at Night by Elie Wiesel, you begin to notice what the Nazis were doing at Auschwitz, which is a concentration camp, and the time period in which that was taking place, and the things that we can pull from your historical research. So you're looking at all of these components. Right here, you've got more of a description of these. And I believe at some point, I want to offer, and I think actually, let me go back. Novels. The novels are going to be given to you in PDF form, so you do not have to go out and buy them. I have them for you. If you go to YouTube, more than likely you'll find an audio. More than likely you could also find some sort of introductory preview for these novels as well. Okay, so you guys can take a look at that. As you start in on the research, I think it would be good to kind of preview those books. I gave you a small preview here, but you guys can do your own research. Go find a video, go find some criticism, see what it says, see which book that you're kind of drawn to. Now, these are the various assignments, and I'll have videos and lectures and more description on what to do. I actually have a set of questions that correspond with that. But these are the things that we're going to be doing. You're starting off with author information paragraphs, researching your author. When did they live? Where did they live? What was their family like, their childhood? What drew them to this writing? What prompted them? What motivated them to tell this story? So that's part of the first thing is finding out some background information about our author. The second thing is book article reviews. These 3 books have been talked about and discussed for decades, and it's going to be your job to find book articles. So this is not a summary of the book. Oops. This is not a summary of the book. We're going to pause for a moment while I fix this. You're not looking for a summary of the book. You are looking for... Come on back to me. There we go. Sorry for the glitch. For the book articles, you're not looking for a summary of the book. You're looking for an article that was written about the book. So what have people said about Night by Elie Wiesel? What have people said about Things Fall Apart or The Joy Luck Club? So you're looking for articles that talk about maybe culture, that talk about history, that talk about the author. One of the great things to do, and I'm not sure if you guys know this, if you go over to Google and you type in Google Scholar, okay? If you type in Google Scholar, you're actually able to look and generate information from academic sources. So if I put in, let's say, Things Fall Apart, okay, it's already got my author right there. I've got the text. I've got all of these things now, and I have to kind of decipher between what is a book and what is an article. When Things Fall Apart, let's see, Discourse and Agency. So I'm going to be looking to see, I'm going to click on this one that has the author's name, and it's now going to bring me to culture in this article talks about culture in Things Fall Apart. This one down here talks about cultural memory for Achebe. Representation in gender and tradition. There's another one right there. So you're looking for an article, the idea of personhood in Things Fall Apart. The reading as women, right? Feminist criticism of Things Fall Apart. You're looking for an article that was written about your story and kind of gathering what is the information that it says from there. So I'm going to have more information and lectures and guidance. I'm just offering you a preview right now. You'll find out the history and the culture background. So what is it about the African culture that is so prevalent for your story? What is it for Things Fall Apart? What is it about the Jewish culture that's so prevalent, or the Nazi German environment of a concentration camp that was so prevalent? Or the World War? What was so prevalent for Chinese American immigrants? What was it like for them to transition and uproot from a very traditional, I don't want to say strict, that's not the right word, stern, focused, honoring the past, to move to something that's a little bit more liberal, free range of ideas and thoughts and everything else, and customs. How are those things? What is that environment like? Okay. There's 2 smaller activities that we're going to be doing, a YouTube and close reading activity. Part of the YouTube activity is to simply go out and find videos that talk about your book. Could be a book review, could be like a summary, could be an interview with the author, could be anything. There's also the close reading. You'll remember we've done this since day one with Lord of the Flies, looking at a passage and coming up with some small questions. We're doing that here. So as you read through the text, maybe you come across, wow, that was a really good paragraph that described what my character is going through. You'll use that for your close reading, okay? We are going to be practicing some of the MLA formatting rules and regulations and guidelines, simply because part of this is research, so we have to put things in proper MLA format. Since we're online, we have a lot of resources that we can use. You guys will be reading the novel at your own pace. You should get to it by the end. I think we're going to be doing this unit for maybe 3 weeks-ish. So there's plenty of time to read through the novel at your own pace. We'll do a cover art project, which is always fun, and then mini presentations where you simply will share your findings. You will talk about what you've done. You will put things into a little video and kind of showcase what you have. So I know that was a lot of information. I know I'm just rambling right now. However, your goal is to select a novel, maybe preview it, kind of figure out, is this what I want to read? Is this what I don't want to read? I would even suggest, if you go online, since I haven't released the books yet, go online right now, find a PDF copy of the book, and maybe read the first 3 or 4 pages. See if it's a book that you are interested in. You could sit back and be like, well, I want to go for Night by Elie Wiesel. And you start to read and you're like, oh, this is not the book that I want. Read the first couple pages of each of the book, kind of determine which book that you want to study and review. If you're drawn to the African culture and that's what you want to study primarily because you love that environment, that culture, these people, go for it. If your heart goes out for the devastation of the Holocaust and you want to find out more about Jewish culture, go for that. Maybe there's a relatability of transplanting lives, like our Chinese American immigrants in the Joy Luck Club and living with generations within a family. What is it like? Like maybe that sticks out to you and that's something that you're drawn to. So take the time, ladies and gentlemen, to go through and to decipher which one you're going to use, which one that you're kind of drawn to. Pick that and you'll tell me in a future assignment, and then you'll start reading, and then we'll start to get into these activities. Okay. Please message me or email me if you guys have any questions or concerns. I'll talk to you guys later.